Tell, Cockerel. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning for some of you. Good afternoon for others. Welcome to Tell Cockerel. It's week 15 competition results. Oh, look at that. Look at who we got. Peter, sorry, I just need to shout out to Peter. Peter Gagaias, giving us a time check, but Peter is currently in Thailand. Peter, I hope everything's going well, mate. Let me know when you're back. But I hope everything is going well with you, mate, and God bless you, and thank you for being here. But yeah, it's week 15 results, and we've got a few people here tonight, which is good. Without a few people, you can't have a show. So, we will start with, I've got Kuba here. Kuba says, big up, Jose. I had a disaster. I scored as many points as Wolves will all season. Let me see, Kuba. Let me just have a sneak preview. Kuba, I scored as many points as Wolves will all season. Right, okay, I understand how many points you got. Not sure whether you do, but we'll have a look. Daz is here. Daz says, big up, Jose. Hope you are well. I am well. I am well, Dad. Sorry. I'm just looking to see Kuva's badge has dropped off. So Cooper's membership looks like it's dropped off. Ellie says, come on, Jose, come on, you're 2 minutes late. Am I? Big up though, hon, she says. Archer's here. Archer says, big up, Jose and chat. Good evening to you, Archer. As I said, Peter's with us very early in the morning in Thailand. I'm not sure you're working in Thailand, but you obviously don't sleep, Peter. It's either that or you've stayed up all night partying. But yeah, all the very, very best to you, Mr. Kagayas. I hope you are well. Like I said, Shemtam's here. Shemtam says, hey, Mr. Bossman Jose in chat. Hope you're well this evening. Good evening, Shem. I'm well. I hope you are as well. Then you've got Tot Spurs, the original Tot Spurs. He says, good evening, Jose and all. Good evening. Jimmy H is here. Good evening, Jimmy H. I hope you're well. Cy Dancer. Hi, Cy. I hope you're well, mate. It's been a while. He says, hi, sorry. Jose, not been around. Family stuff. Cy, family always comes first, mate. And I know that you're a doting parent to your 3 lovely children. So that's no issues at all, Cy. The next predictions, if you can make it, is on Friday. If you can't make it, Si, you could always leave them in the chat. In the comments section after the show. But you're more than welcome, Si, and it's nice to see you. And I hope, as I said, I hope you and the family are really well. Peter is letting us know that out in Thailand, Elliot's assistant here came to do some teeth work. Well, I didn't want to say anything at all, Peter. I know why you're there. I was just saying that I hope everything's going well. Let me know. I don't know how long you're there for. I know that you've been there for at least a week because you messaged me about a week ago. So I know you've been there for at least a week. But I hope that everything is going well, Pete. I hope everything's going well. And look who we got. We got the young drooler. Young Drooler's here, says afternoon, Jose and Cockle Crew. Drooler must be in America because she's saying afternoon to me. So the only people that would come in and say afternoon to me rather than evening would be the people that are still in their afternoon, which are the Americans. Anybody else would be saying good morning to me if they're down under, or as where Peter is, 5:36 in the morning, which is 5:40 now in Thailand. But welcome you all in. Nice to have you all here. You're all here to find out how you guys got on this week. Hot off the press we are today because we are hot off the press because that Man United have only just finished playing football. Peter says he watched the Aston Villa with all these Arsenal supporters. I was smirking inside. I bet you were. And Drula, you know better, sweetheart. I hope you do. Drula, I went to football Saturday, as you're aware, right? She says my head's done in with all these meds. I hope you're better, Drula. I felt all right Saturday. I didn't play football on Friday. I purposely didn't play football on Friday because I do a double session on Friday. And because I've been all ill last week, I didn't bother. I purposely didn't play football on Friday because I was going to the game Saturday. And I just didn't think I could play football and go to the game as well with the way that I felt. I went to the game and I felt all right when I went to the game and I was travelling home from the Tottenham game. I felt all right. Sunday though, bloody hell, yesterday it bloody hit me again like a train. And today, I don't know whether you can hear it in my voice, but it's like I'm all congested and it just wants to come out, so to speak. But I'm hoping that I'm at the other end of where I was last week is what I'm hoping. But I hope you feel better soon. People are telling me to go and buy Sudafed. I might have to. I've never taken Sudafed in my life, but I've been told it's meant to be good. Peter says that he enjoyed the Arsenal Villa game that he watched with people out there, and he was smirking inside. He said that he especially enjoyed the last minute of the game. I bet you did. Did you manage to see our game out there, Peter? Did you manage to see the Brentford game whilst you've been out in Thailand? Drew says, I have a cervical and spinal injury. That's why I'm on meds, Jose. Really? Well, that's a bit more serious. Cervical and spinal injury. That's why you're on meds. I don't have to take any medication anymore for. I fractured 5 vertebrae in my spine. Lower thorax 3 to lower thorax 7 or something it was. So thorax 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyway, I had to take painkillers. I had to be put in a corset girdle with a metal rod going through it in order to straighten my back up and that. But I haven't had to take painkillers for ages. I only ever take painkillers when I feel the cold, because then the arthritis sets in. But I haven't had to do that for a while. Queen Ellie says, Xavi made you feel better for a few hours, Jose. Xavi did make me feel well. Peter says that he did watch Spurs, so he's watched the Spurs game, which is good. Jimmy says, and I think Jimmy's told me this before, he takes Barocca every day, not had a cold in 11 years. Honestly, they're not expensive. Where do you get Barocca? Do you get Barocca in a chemist then, do you, Jimmy? I'm going to write this down, Barocca. Is it something you can buy over the counter? Or is it a natural remedy? I don't know. But I'm sure you've said this before. Peter says that Pep's playing mind games with Arteta. Yeah, it was getting boring, and not because it's Arsenal, but it was getting boring at the beginning because people kept dropping points and stuff. But now that the pack is closing up, the pack's closing up. There's only 3 of them, because then you look at Aston Villa, Villa in third. Yeah, you look at Villa and then Chelsea next to. There's 5-point gap already between third and fourth. Ellie says, "Isn't it great that Arsenal lost and we won? Long may it continue. Come on, you Spurs. Go lose, you Gunners." Funnily enough, I haven't seen Vindaloo. Vindaloo, for those that are not aware, Vindaloo plays Vindaloo's a good guy. You know, I'm not going to knock him. He's a good guy. It makes me laugh, Vindaloo. But this is what he wrote down, right? So Vindaloo did his Premier predictions and left them on the comments section at the end of the show. And this is Vindaloo's comment. I'm just going to say it, right? This is Vindaloo's comments. It says, "Big up, Jose. Guten Morgen from Zurich, my friend. Here are my predictions." So obviously he's in the German quarter of Switzerland, in Zurich. He said, Villa versus Arsenal, and in brackets, the best team in the world currently, and he's put his prediction is 1-2. He's then put down Bournemouth versus Chelsea. He wrote down title pretenders, two laugh emojis, 1-3. He then wrote down Spuds versus Brentford, 1-2, and in brackets, come on Brentford. Then he wrote down 115 cheats versus Sunderland, 3-1. And then he's put down Leeds versus Paul, 2-3. Whoever loses, I will be really happy. Laughing emoji. It's a win-win situation. So if anyone wants to give it back to Vindaloo, if you support any of the sides that he's tried to jest against, I suggest you have a look at the comments that he left when he left his predictions for game week 15 after the show. They're all there for everyone to be seen. So, but yeah, if you see Vindaloo, say hello to Vindaloo. Where are you, Vinders? Say hello to Vindaloo, and where are you is what you need to be saying to him. Supermarkets like Tesco sell them, Boots, Holland and Barrett, etc. I'll have to ask Barocca. I'm going to ask. Do you know what, Jimmy? I've just written it down on my pad in front of me. Barocca. It seems like it's a supplement that you take rather than once you get a cold or once you get flu or whatever. So then you've got Archer says Spurs win, tick. Woolwich defeat, tick. Good footballing weekend, tick. Peter's giving it to me. Look, it's not as if I'm already not had it from David Shear, but Peter says, and the Aussies spanked the Poms in the test. Right, my comment on that, Peter, is I put it into one of the groups, and my comment is you've got McCullum and Stokes, and for 2 years they've been prepping for this. So since the last Ashes over here, they've been prepping for 2 years to go and play this Ashes, and we pick, for me, unless there's a limited pool, we pick too many one-day players. who are swashbuckling with their shots, to say the least, and don't want to do the hard yards on in a testing arena. And we got what we deserved, you know. If so, you got the openers for England. One fires, the other one misfires. Happens every test. So one will score runs and the other one won't get anything at all. So one scores, one misfires. Pope always starts. If you look back at Pope at number 3, at any any series that he's played in, he always starts well at the beginning and then he peters off, right? So he scored really well in the first test, first innings, scored well. Since then, taking a nosedive. Joe Root, whoopee-doo, great batsman. He's now got his 100 in Australia. What more? I know you're on a one-man team, but what more? You should be offering more than just that 100 that he's got. As for Harry Brook, I don't know whether he'll ever be a test batsman because he's just swashbuckling, playing one-day mode all the time. He'll either score a quick 30 or 40 or he'll get out straight away. Stokes, see, I rate Stokes as a batsman. I really do. But Stokes plays within himself, plays like in a shell, in a cocoon. And he soaks up. And then when he begins to let go, he makes a ridiculous decision. And it seems to be in him all the time. Smith is a good young player, but again, one-day mode. One-day mode, got out too early. One-day mode. Jacks, I think, is a decent batsman, but again, a one-day player. We have too many one-day players in the test squad. If they were really good one-day players and really good test players, I wouldn't mind. But it's proven that they're not really good test players. They've had 2 years to bed this team down. And for me, when you're going up against Australia and you're playing, for me, against their B team, and the reason why I call them their B team is they've had no Hazelwood. They've had no Cummins, right? They've had no Hazelwood and no Cummins for the first 2 tests. Stark has carried them in the bowling. They then had the gall to drop Lyon for the second test as well. So basically, 3 of their frontline bowlers were out for the second test. And they steamrolled England. 2 of their premier bowlers out for the first test. They steamrolled England. What do you think is going to happen when Cummins comes back for the third test? Because Cummins will be back next week. And so will Lyon. When they come back for next week, what chances have England got then? If they're completely shit and knackered against their second string bowlers, they're not going to fare any better against their first string anyway. Well done to Australia. Although I hate to admit it, I can see a 5-0 hammering. If after the first 2 games, anything less than 5-0, then the Australians have got to be shit. Ian Meth says to Hyle from Brazil, good evening. Hyle from Brazil. I'm presuming that Brazil must be afternoon, Ian, at the moment. So I'm going to chance it and say good afternoon to you, Ian, in Brazil. I know you're in Argentina, but you're in Brazil now. Daz says he was in Jesse's on Saturday and yesterday, Jose. Was he? Queen Ellie says, Man City only 2 points behind Squeaky Bum time, and Arteta's bottling an error style already. Trossard, his sub scores, then he subs him off. So strange, weird decision. Didn't someone say that he'd got injured? Drula says that we've already gone for him, Jose. So Drula says you've already gone for him. So I'm gathering that must be on Jesse's stream then. Jimmy says effervescent tablets in a tube. Right, I'll have to check this out. Daz may be in that cellar. Vinders is a goon of trembling bold. Jimmy says Brook is absolutely brilliant and should do a lot better than what he does in the test. Well, right. So, normally we show. I start this by showing you the Predict the Prem, which I'm going to do. So we'll start the show. Predict the Prem first, people. In Predict the Prem, we have the following. Right, Predict the Prem. Predict the Prem. Is it there? Yeah, here we go. Predict the Prem. It's here. I'm going to take myself off screen. There you go. There's Predict the Prem. So, on Predict the Prem, I have now reached 150 points. So this is the interactive game. But what I will say is we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people have broken the 100 barrier. So you have Kev Clark chasing me 27 points behind. Archer's gone and has got 112. Shemtam upped with 108. Graham is on 108. Jess has got 105. And Vindaloo and Ronnie both got 104 each. Scott C, Chris Peters, Daz Reynolds, Neil and Ryan, and even Carl S and Totsmos are all knocking on the 100. Ed M's knocking on the 100s. Then you've got Fiona Belcher, Paul G in that. But yours truly is still leading the way in Predict the Prem. I was going to share with you fantasy football, but I just think it's not right to share it today. And the reason why I say this is because with fantasy football, because we've only just finished. Let me see. I'm only to see. Because we've only just. What am I doing here? Is that better? Oh, what's happened here now? Right, I am here. I just don't know why this other thing's here. Let me see. I don't know why that's there. Right, that's better. Sorry, that's better. Right, so normally I do fantasy, right? But I can't really put fantasy on here because the Man United game has only just finished. It means that whatever I show won't have the updated scores. So my suggestion is that people should check their FPL. When I do shows like this one, because of work commitments, I have to do the show tonight, straight after a game's finished. I can't really share I can share it, but it's not going to be accurate. So I'm better off sharing that when we haven't got a game that's just finished, if that makes any sense. Although, in saying that, some people did do well this week. Do you know what? I am going to share it. It's not going to be right by no means, but I'll share it. Because this is not updated, this will only go up to yesterday's scores. It won't have tonight's included in there. But we'll share it anyway. But you know what I mean. Look, you know what I'm saying to you. So, oops, that's not the one to share. Right, fantasy football. Right, here we go. Right, fantasy football is here. Right. Right, fantasy football. Why isn't it showing on this screen? Bloody hell. Right, there we go. Fantasy football. Right, so for those that are wanting to see the fantasy football, remember these points are not all updated yet. Let me have a look from top to bottom. Right, so where is that young man? Right, Sahil. Sahil has dropped points this week because Sahil is now 98 points behind at the moment. But Young Jack on green on this screen, Young Jack has gone into 58th place with one of his teams. He scored 48 points. It took him to 628. Then you've got Jamie Imber, who's gone into 51st with his 49 points this week. And then you have, so these problems ain't finalised, but you've got Kuva with 99 problems has gone into 47th with 43 points. George has gone into 46th with 52 points. Sanjeev has gone up to 43rd with 47 points this week. Matty K has gone into 39th with 43 points. Brendan has gone into 38th with 45 points. Side Dancer has gone into 37th with 54 points. Darren Watts has gone into 35th with 54 points. Then further up, you've got Destiny 5 has gone into 27th with 56. R. Graham has gone into 26th with 45 points. Carl has gone into 25th with 46. David Power has gone into 22nd with 45 points. Marlon has gone into 20th with 41 points. Jeff is into 19th with 55 points. Sir Rob is into 18th with 53 points. Adrian Chia has gone into 16th with 50 points. It says, frankly shocking, me has gone into 13th with 45 points, right? But I know that I've got 15 points there for Bruno Fernandes that I've not been added to that. And I also know that Bruno Fernandes will probably get bonus points for being man of the match. So I will end up with more points than what it currently says on the screen. Jess has gone up into 13th with 47 points. Eltel Cockerell has gone into 12th with 50 points. And then further up the food chain, you've got Ryan T. Ryan T making a comeback again. Look, he's gone up into 6th. Ryan T was once our leader. And then at the very top, the only change has been that Steve Riffamato's replaced Stuart. They've gone from, one's gone from 2nd to 3rd and one's gone from 3rd to 2nd. But Nick Collison still leads the way with 919 points. And that, people, is where you are for that. Right. Right, what have we got now? Right. My fantasy team sucked this weekend, says Shemtan. Archer says that Bruno Fernandes and Guimaraes bailed me out of a crap week on FPL. Daz says I got 48 points. Well done, Daz. I know that I've got more than that. Let me see if they've updated. Have they updated the scores? No, Bruno's still showing us 15 points because they've not. Bruno's been given the 90 minutes, the goal, 2 goals scored and an assist. So I've got 15 points, but they've not divvied out the bonus points. But if I look quickly, the bonus points will go to. So the 3 bonus points will go to Bruno Fernandes. 2 bonus points will end up going to Mbuemo, who's in one of my other teams. And the 1 point for bonus point week will go to Ahmad, because it shows you the bonus system, so you can see already who's going to get the points. So when I said I've got 15 more points, it will be actually 18 more points that I've got to come from him. But anyway, that is what it is. Right, this week, people, Predictions League. Tell me how many points you guys think you got in predictions, and then we will get to that part of the show. Looking forward to the end of this week. This is my last week before Christmas, and then I'm off for 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward. I'm counting down to Friday. Friday, 4 o'clock, and become a free man for 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. Colin B. Good evening, Colin B. I hope you're well. We just got to the part of the show, Colin B, where I'm asking people how many points you think you got this week. So Drula says 7. Drula, where's Drula? Drula would be right. Drula did score 7. Kuba says 5 or 6. I'm going to take one number from you, and I'm going to say, no, you didn't get one of them numbers, Kuba. Archer says he got 7. Archer, you did get 7. Shemtam says he got 11. Shem. No, Shem didn't get 11. Jimmy H says he got 7. Jimmy H is bang on. Jimmy H did get 7. Daz says he got 8. Daz get 8 points. It'd be a miracle if you got 8, Daz, but you haven't got 8, mate. No. Edem says, good evening, Edem. I hope you're well, sir. Ed says he reckons he got 6. Edem, you'd be right. You did score 6 points. You did score 6 points. Would it help people if I said to people, right, the average this week is 7.6. So I says, did I guess 0? Right, the average this week, people, is 7.6. So therefore, you need to score 8 points to be above average this week. Anything less than 8 points would have you as below average. Shemte says, try to be positive for a change. It lasted about 2 seconds. Oh, I don't know, Shem. As I said, this week, 7.6 is the average, right? We better go. Let's go. Let's see how you guys done, yeah? Let's see how you guys done. Let's share the joy on the screen. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready for your scores? Are you ready for your scores? Is what I'm thinking. Right, there's the scores. Let's make it big screen. There we go. There we go. Right, game number 1. There's Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. Correct score lines came in from Carl, Daz Reynolds, David Shear, Drew Lala, Shemtam, Totspurs, and James all correctly predicted the 2-1 scoreline. Some people do it by design rather than nature, and some people do it by nature rather than design. And then the only other 2 people that went for an Aston Villa victory who've got 1 point were me and Ellie. So that's your first game of the weekend. The second game of the weekend saw a Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0. And in this, 4 people predicted a draw, and all 4 of them predicted a 2-all draw at that, and all picked up a point each. So what Archer picked up a point, Colin B, Daz Reynolds, God, Daz is scoring, and Kuva all picked up 1 point each for the game number 2. Game number 3 ended up being Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0. The only person that correctly predicted the 3-0 scoreline was Alan. Everybody else there in orange predicted a home victory and therefore picked up a point. Game number 4. Man City 3, Sunderland 0, if you will. And another 3-0 victory. And this correct scoreline was yours truly. Jack were the only 2 people to correctly figure out the Man City score. Everybody else in orange predicted a Man City win and therefore picked up a point. We then went over to Newcastle. Newcastle versus Burnley. Strange game, 2-1. Man sent off. Scored right late in the game. So it gave some people their 2-1 scoreline, which it was David Shear and Nita correctly predicted that scoreline. Everybody bar Jack went for a home victory and picked up a point. Jack is the only person that did not score a point in that game. Then we went to good old Tottenham. Never let you down. Never let you down. Tottenham 2, Brentford 0. I was looking for the 3rd goal. When we were 2-0 up at half time, I was saying, come on, 1 more goal, and I've bagged it. 1 more goal, and I've bagged it. But it didn't happen. But the 2-0 scoreline, Jack is the only person that correctly predicted 2-0 and bagged himself 3 points. Everybody else in orange picked up a point for correctly predicting a Tottenham home win. There was plenty on here that went for draws or an away victory that did not score any points. Boo! Boo! So for those people that didn't score any points because you didn't back Tottenham, all I've got to say to you guys is... And then we went to one of the games of the weekend. Leeds coming back from 2-0 down against Liverpool to draw 3-3. And this is what I affectionately called the Jesse Derby. And in this, 4 people predicted a draw. That would be Graham, Jess, Kuva, and Alan. All picked up a point each because they predicted a draw. Not the 3-3, but predicted a draw scoreline. So it ended up with a point. Another score 1-1 draw, another 1-1 draw between Brighton and West Ham. The only person that correctly predicted this one was Ian Meth, correctly predicted the 1-1. And the only other person who scored a point was Jack, who predicted a 2-2 draw. So the only people who scored points there were them two. Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. The latest of latest goals. Bailed out a few people here, that scoreline. Crystal Palace scoring so late. So Carl correctly predicted it. Shemtam again, correct prediction. Jimmy H, correct prediction. Tot Spurs, correct prediction. Jess correctly predicted that. So did Edem, and so did James. And so did Ian. All correctly predicted the 1-2 scoreline. Anybody else that's got an orange, so there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 other oranges there, they would have predicted an away victory of some sort and therefore picked up a point. And then the last game of the Premiership was tonight, of course. It was Wolves 1, Man United 4. Nobody correctly predicted the 1-4 scoreline. All those people that predicted an away victory have all got themselves a point. There's a few of us that predicted a home victory. I will say to Ryan G, with the greatest respects, I haven't seen the game, but the scoreline alone tells me that Wolves must be poor and in dire trouble. 2 points picked up. I can't see where the next point's coming from. In this predictions, although I was leading, because I'm not revealing what's happened now. Up until last week, I was leading, and I've actually plumbed for Wolves, and I think I've done Wolves a few times because of Ryan probably, and because I want Wolves to pick up. But I keep losing points. I lose points week in, week out by going for Wolves all the time. So I think that the shark in me, the Yorker, is going to turn round, and I'm going to seriously think of not backing Wolves anymore until I see some evidence that they're going to turn some sort of a corner, because otherwise I'm just throwing points against the wall. Then we went to our bonus games. You can see in the bonus games, when you see that you've hardly scored any points, you know that these scores, either we're really shit, right? Either we're really, really crap at predicting, or there's been some scores that have completely thrown people. The first game, Heidenberg 2, Freiburg 1. Heidenberg were near the foot of the table. Beat Freiburg much further up the table by 2-1. And the correct scoreline came in from Colin B and David. Both got the 2-1 correct scoreline. But James also threw in a 1-0, so picked himself up a point. So that's your first one. The second one was between... Who was the second game between? Oh God, who was the second game? Second game was... Okay, Union Saint-Gilloise versus Genk. And they ended up as a 1-1 draw. Not one person scored a point. Not one person predicted a draw of any kind. It was either home wins or away wins, straight across the board for everyone. So nobody scored a point in that game. And then the last game was Nantes 1, Lens 2. And the correct scoreline here came from Colin B, Ryan G, Chris Peters, Shemtam again, Tot Spurs, all correctly predicted the 1-2 scoreline. Anybody else there in orange correctly predicted an away win, but not the correct score. So, with the 3 bonus games, the third game, the Nantes versus Lens one, probably went to form because the majority of people scored points. So it went to form. The middle one, nobody even blew that one because Union Gilloise, if I remember rightly, are top of the league. And Ghent are at 9th or 10th. Nantes are down, I think, 2nd or 3rd from bottom. Lens are top. So You know, it just goes to show it doesn't matter when you put teams. It's the same as the Premiership games that we've done. The Premiership games that we've done, you know, scores come in, but there's been gaps there in the Premiership game ones as well. So the Leeds game, there's gaps. There's gaps for the Bournemouth-Chelsea game. There's gaps for the Brighton-West Ham United game. They're the biggest whites that we've got, so they're where the biggest gaps are. There's a big gap also Aston Villa-Arsenal, where people didn't score points as well. And obviously the middle game of the three bonus games also didn't yield much at all. But anyway, man of the week this week was Totspurs with 14 points. So we start from the top. Jose, 8 points above average. It's like I'm going to be the schoolmaster again. Archer, 7 points below average. Colin B, credible, 11. Double bubble points. Colin B, 11. Ronnie and Ryan G, 6 points each below par. Carl, 11 points, double points. Well done, Carl. Notable mention of 11. And Daz Reynolds. Daz, that is your best week in a long, long time. Double points. I'm not sure whether you've had double points before, but you've got them this week, mate. Well played. 11 points. David Shear, double points, 12. So these guys in the double points are well above average. Chris Peters, 6, below average. Drula, 7, below average. Ellie, 7, below average. You have got Shemtam, 13 points. Shemtam, nosebleed time. Shemtam, who thought that he'd had a wicked week by scoring 11. Shemtam actually scored 13. Absolutely brilliant from Shemtam. Well done, Shemtam. 13 points. Well above average. Then you've got Jimmy H, 7 below average. Graham, 7 below average. The man of the week is our original Daz, Totspurs, 14 points. He's therefore in red, highlighting him as man of the week. Jack quietly going about his business, decided to get double figures and got 11 points. Jess quietly going about her business, 10 points, double points. Well, just 10 points, well above average. NM, 6 and below average. Young James, 11 points, in double figures. Well done, Young James. Kuba, quite surprisingly, 7 points below average. Kuba's been flying. I gained a point on Kuba this week because Kuba's the one that gave me some words, stern words last week. He sent me a message and there was stern words in there. And then I've got Ian. Ian scored 9 points and was above average. Paige, 3 points below average. Vindaloo, what does he know? 5 points and below average. Nita scored 8 points and is above average. Alan scored 7 points and is below average. And then we got 3 people down the bottom there. And when I mean down the bottom, it's only down the bottom because that's the way that they show. Let me see if I can see this one. Right, because it's not showing everyone. So the 3 down the bottom, there you go, was Nick, Wayne and Paul G. All got 1 point each. But all 3 of these people did not put any predictions in until I did the show yesterday with Chang. And then all 3 put their predictions in then when I did the show with Chang yesterday, which meant there were only 3 games this week, right? And because there were only 3 games this week, they all scored a point each. But for one person in particular, that point has some ramification. So there you go. Shemtan says, oh, hell yeah. Cooper says, I put pressure on myself by saying I was chasing you down, Hazard. So started second guessing my predictions and cost myself 11 points. Drew says, right, this week I'm asking ChatGPT to predict my scores. I don't like being below average. Do you know what? The scoring this week, I don't know whether it's me, but I felt the scoring at the start of the season was far higher and the averages were far higher than what they are now. And that shows you the unpredictability. It's either the unpredictability or we've got it in our heads that certain teams are going to do certain things and they don't actually do them. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Right. So, guys, what does that do for the table? Right. Let me have a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, for the table, there were 8 people that climbed the table. That's all it is. It's 8 people have climbed the table. That's what the points did this week. Right, so to show you the points for this week, this is the league table as of tonight. So we have the league table there. Right, the league table this week shows Jimmy H only been playing 2 weeks, 47 people. Jimmy's already up into 37th place. So well done, Jimmy. Paige with her 3 points has picked up, and Paige has gone into 31st. Paul G, his 1 point has taken him to the 100 mark. So well done, Paul G. Paul G becomes the 26th player to break 100 points. So Paul G is in gold or orange, whichever one colour you want to call it, because he's broken into 26th place. Daz Reynolds. Daz, you must be having a nosebleed, mate. You're at 11 points that you scored this week has taken you up into 24th place. So well done, Daz. David Shear, with his 12 points, I think David got this week. His 12 points have taken him into 22nd. Young James scored 11, I believe, this week, and that's taken Young James up into 20th place. And then we have Carl. Carl has gone into 16th place. Sits just behind Nick, just on the virtue of Nick having more correct predictions. With Nick only getting 1 point this week, it certainly made it was time for Drula and Ed M and those around him to make hay. And the ones that made hay were Tot Spurs. Tot Spurs been man of the week, 14 points, has taken him up into 12th place. Shemtam's 13 points has taken Shem into 11th. 2 points behind Colin B, who is in 10th. Shemtam and Daz are sniffing top 10 places. So those above, beware. The rest of the spots above that haven't changed because the scoring wasn't that high this week. The points above haven't changed. I mean, the rival between Ryan G and Kuba's actually made up another point on Ryan G. Although Kuba sits 2 points behind Ryan G, Kuba scored 7 this week. Ryan G scored 6, which then means that this closed the gap to 2 points. Kuba is in front of Jess by virtue of having more correct predictions, but they share the points. Graham is then 3 points ahead of Ryan G. In turn, Ronnie's 3 points ahead of Graham. Ian is 4 points ahead of Ronnie and 2 behind Vindaloo. Vindaloo is now 8 points behind Archer. And this week, I gained a point on Archer. I scored 8, Archer scored 7. So Archer's on the cusp of breaking the 200 points. Should be doing it this weekend. And there you go, people. That is your points for the week. And that's where you are in the league tables as well this week. So well done, everyone. Well done, everyone that's played this week. What happened there, but it went wild. It went wild. I'm well behind. I'm well behind, aren't I? Right, I'm just trying to see if I've missed. What have I missed? Because for some reason it's. Am I still broadcasting? I must be. Yeah. Okay, so nobody's commented. It just says only 1 point below average isn't too bad, Archer. Okay, yeah, Archie. Although you say that, right? It's the same as me last week. Last week I was saying that I didn't want to be below average because I've been below average for the last few weeks, and that's why I said I was going to change the way that I was going to do things this week, which I did do, and it's obviously scored me 8 points, so I was above average or above, which quite worked out for me. So I'm just trying to make sure that I've got this right for this week. Right, where's my live for this week? Friday, week 16. Right, that's the competition results, so that can't be it. Okay, Friday's show is at 4:30. So yeah, I finish work at 4:00. Then I've got to get myself ready for this show. So I will be ready for you guys for week 16 at 4:30 on Friday. Whilst we've been doing the show, can I say thank you to Kuva for rejoining again as a member, so remembering himself. Thank you. And Drula for being a member for 15 months with a flexing her badge saying thank you so much, Jose, for all your hard work. Thank you very much for your time and spending time with me, Drula. All of you, which is really, really, really nice of you guys. But yeah, they're your points for this week. And Daz is saying a week tomorrow, third test, 11:30 p.m. our time start. Do you know what? I'm off work, Daz, after this week. So basically, next week I can watch the cricket. But what I've seen for the first two tests hasn't really enamoured me to say to myself, do you know what? Let's stay up and watch the cricket. I'm not sure I want to do that. David Shears here. Good morning, David. I hope you are well, sir. Says G'day Cobber. So we've got a G'day Cobber from David Shear, and we also had Peter Kagayas out in Thailand saying hello to us earlier. But Daz, yeah, going on that, from what I've seen from England, I don't know whether I want to invest time in staying up. Although I've got nothing to get up for Friday morning, let's say next Friday morning, I don't know whether I want to stay up and watch fucking England get dominated because of shit preparation, and sending out a one-day team to play against Australia in their backyard. And Australia, again, I keep saying this, Australia will have Cummins back, they might have Hazelwood back, Lyon back. We're 2-0 down already, right? 2-0 down. They're playing with their B team bowling unit, and we're 2-0 down already. What do people think is going to happen when their A team unit come back to bowl? What do they think is going to happen? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so to me, I'm not sure how much time I'm going to invest into it. Daz, bring in Bashir, but who are you going to bring in Bashir for? What, are you going to start dropping the quicks out? Are you going to start dropping the quicks out? Mr. Shear, because you just joined us, I need to show you, Mr. Shear. This week, David. There you go, David. This week, David, you scored 12 points, mate. He's not going to play again, is he? Right, sorry, David, can you see that better now? There you go, David. You're the 10th. You're beside that number 10. Right, you scored 12 points, David. The average this week, David, was 7.6. Right, 7.6 was the average, and you scored 12. So well done, David. You scored highly this week. Bearing in mind that only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of you reached double figures, David. And man of the week was Totspurs. So you scored 12 points. So you're well above average this week, David. And what that done for you in the table, David, is you actually moved up. So, David, there you are. With your 12 points this week, David, you've gone into 22nd, mate. So you're up to 22nd, David. That's where you are in predictions. Dad says drop Jack. Oh, shit. Dad says drop Jacks. Drop Jacks for what? For Bashir. David's quite right. Bashir went for 125 against Australia A. You know, and at the end of the day, Jacks is a better batsman than Bashir. You know, you got to do something different. It's just having all these one-day specialists in your team. 2 years, honestly, 2 years we've had to prepare for. Since the last Ashes here in England, we've had 2 years to prepare this team to go to play in Australia for these Ashes. And they turn up and it's like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, again. Fucking headless chickens. Headless chickens. I mean, when Root got his 100 and, you know, we were 3-2-5 for 9 after the first day, people were lauding it, saying, yeah, it's a brilliant score, it's a brilliant score. Fucking hell, the Australians went and rattled off 500 odd. 500 odd they rattled off, Australia. So, you know, everyone, the old sayings, I mean, you lot follow cricket, so you should know the old sayings. The old saying is never judge a pitch until everyone's batted on it once. And everyone's bowled on it once, you know. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. David Shear, you're quite right, says Jack's played like a proper opener. Showed some absolute heart. Yeah, so to me, Daz, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. As I said, I'm off work next week. I'm not working at all. From after this Friday, I'm off for 3 weeks. But whether I want to invest time, and like I said, I ain't got nothing to do. I've not made any plans. But whether I want to wake up or stay up, wake up or stay up late to watch the cricket, I don't know. I mean, I know what's going to happen. My mental side is going to turn around and say, do you know what? The cricket. If the first ball is bowled at 11:30 in the evening, right? If it's 11:30 in the evening, then that means that the first session will take you to 1:30 in the morning. Probably start and watch the first session, and it'll either be, honestly, I'm telling you now what the script will be. If England are bowling first, the Australians will rattle. They'll go tidy in the first session. All right, and we won't penetrate them at all. All right. If England bat first in the first session, and I start to watch it, and England bat first, England will end up losing 4 or 5 wickets in the first session. It's going to happen because they've taken a fucking one-day team out of it, so it's going to happen. Good evening, Tony. Tony, my man, I hope you are well. I've not spoken to you in a while, but I hope you're well. I sent you some messages on your channel when you was having some issues and you weren't well and stuff. But I'm hoping that's all now subsided and that everything is really good. And I hope you and the channel are doing well, mate. I've not been around, I've been busy with work, but I hope you are well. Koo says, just watch the highlights of the Aussie innings, then watch ours in real time because it will last nearly as long as the highlight reel. That's exactly what says that is right. Red Bull and Vodka. God, that's a name I've not seen before. Red Bull and Vodka says, I like your space station drop, bruv. Thank you, Red Bull and Vodka. Much appreciated. So, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But what I will say is, coming up to an hour now, is there any other questions that you lot have got with regards to predictions? Was that what you were doing? You were new role at the airport. Okay, all right, new role at the airport. I must find out. It's going to say I didn't see you at the awards either. I went to the members' dinner 2 weeks ago, Tony, to the BPA members' dinner. You know, the one you had to go Drapers Hall with all the dicky bow and all that. I went to that, and as soon as I finished my dessert, I ducked out. I said to my contractors I had to leave, because I wanted to get back home. Because otherwise it would have been staying out all night in London again, and I just left. So, But hopefully I will either speak to you or catch up with you soon, Tony. Jimmy H, thank you very much. Friday, 4:30. So for those people that are partaking and that are members that will be partaking on Friday, we will be back at 4:30 for predictions on Friday. During that time, between now and then, I wish you all health and happiness and all the very, very best to you all. As Christmas gets closer, no one wants to be ill. So I do wish you, for those that are recovering from illnesses and from operations, and from those who are fine now, I hope your health continues as well, because there's nothing. I don't wish illnesses on anyone. It's absolutely, heartbreaking when your fucking body suffers. So I hope everyone feels really, really well. Tony, I will catch up with you soon, mate. I will catch up with you soon. But listen, everyone, thank you very much for watching. God bless you all. Thank you to Kuva for becoming a member again. Thank you to Drula for her membership badge, her membership message or chat for 15 months. So thank you very much. And I will see you all Friday. Friday, everyone. Friday. Yay. On Friday, I'm going to give you some magic in my selections. But no, thank you very much, everyone. And like I say always, it's from me, it's a goodbye and it's come on you Spurs. And I hope you all take care of yourselves. God bless you. See you Friday, 4:30.
Tell, Cockerel. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found. Home or away, he always tips to win. Throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled. Your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. Goes on and 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 on. Why Why do I always get it wrong? El Tel, Cockerel. The show is so chill. Your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at.